And welcome in, ladies and gentlemen. It is Sunday. It is 10:30. You know what that means. Only one thing. The Boomhauer Bandit is in studio, and it is in the driver's seat with Corey Renforth. I'm DJ Oakley, your host. And, of course, this guy, the plaid panda over here, is going to be telling us a little bit about our guest in the upcoming minutes. But, Corey, before we get to that, no race last night. Too muddy. Jim did everything he could, and obviously Mother Nature had more superior plans for your race car last night.
Yeah, I reckon. Well, we all thought it was going to miss us for a minute. Like, radar was showing, like, oh, it's going to clear us. Then something happened where it turned south on us and went south on everybody there for a little bit. But Jim tried. I mean, you can't fault him for trying. Although Mother Nature is a fickle woman, I guess. But,
so when we talked about it last week because there was no race last week either. So we're kind of waiting to ramp up and talk about the racing. And if we knew we had 3 weeks to preview the season, I think you and I would have split it up a little better than we did.
Yeah, planning. And I'm going to say it's all me because you're trying to deal with a bag of cats here. Like planning's not my thing.
A bag of cats?
Yeah.
Did you just?
Yeah, my grandma used to put cats in bags.
There goes our PETA sponsorship, I guess.
All right, whatever.
What the hell just happened?
We'll get off the hillbilly stuff. So anyway, it's like trying to wrangle cats, I guess.
There we go.
Poor
grandma.
Cats. Yeah, God rest her soul. She didn't mean to do that. But anyway, all right. So you're trying to deal with this.
Derailed.
And I'm not a planner. I need a secretary on this thing, but yeah, I'm not paying nobody to do that. So yeah, you got what you got with me, I guess.
We got you all right.
Yeah. But we can do stuff on the fly. That's fine, I guess.
And so today, let's roll out the red carpet for our guest, Doug Stanley.
This is Doug.
How much do you know about Doug? Let's do a little Q&A.
I mean, I learned a good bit. Well, I don't know if I learned a good bit about Doug last night.
Probably nothing good, let me tell you.
I learned a good bit from Doug. I mean, really, the conversations weren't learning about Doug. It was more about race cars in general. But the guy knows race cars, so I can tell you that. And
a traditional championship past.
Yeah, he in about every dang thing you would ever want to drive. The list of, I'm sure he's driven dang near everything on dirt anyway. I don't know about any asphalt racing he's done, or if any, but on dirt, he's got every experience you would want to have, championships, wins, dude rules. And so this is Doug.
You're making me sound awful good. I mean,
well, we could have Chris in here to carry your plaque around. But I was at Doug's house last night for Chris's after it got rained out.
Rainouts cause hangovers.
Yeah, so we had a birthday celebration for Chris Robbins. Shout out to
Happy birthday, Chris.
Yeah, happy birthday.
35th, right?
Yeah.
35th going on 22.
Well, I was going to say, at least you're beating somebody in something. You at least got him by a couple birthdays.
Yeah. I'm getting older than people. That's about all I got on.
So let's roll the red carpet out here for Doug. Doug, let's talk. How did it get started from a racing perspective? How did you get into it? And how did you fall in love with it?
I mean, I've always loved cars. I'm a car guy, and I like any kind of racing. But, back in the 80s, I raced Honda Odysseys at Deerfield. And there's a few guys there. Steve was telling me he was actually there back in that day, too, when we'd race Odysseys. And they had an oval and a off-road track there. And then had to get –
Honda Odyssey, that's not the minivan.
Yeah. It's the prelude to the Polaris Razors,
Okay.
Yeah, they were just.
For a second there, I was wondering how that you have to load up a car full of groceries.
You guys are
or
too
what?
young, man. You're just way too young for this.
The people at home was kind of racing a minivan.
Yeah, no, I mean they just look like early models of the side by sides.
Okay.
And we built them up, of course. We'd get them running around 70 mile an hour around Deerfield.
Wow.
So they ran real well, not just the little stock ones that they had, but and then I had to quit for a long time, because I still wanted to race. I love racing.
Mm-hmm.
My brother and I finally got enough money together, and we actually went to Deerfield. We were going to get a micro.
Okay.
We're watching. So we went over to Hickory Speedway, Pennsylvania, to watch these micros, and we're going to buy one. They're racing. It's like, yeah, okay, we're going to find somebody that knows something about these. Well, then they brought the full-size 360 sprints out. And we said, oh, no, we need one of those. The next week we bought one.
Oh, my gosh.
And, I mean, we didn't even know how to start the thing. So
I feel like that's been the story for the second year here. This is the second year of the show. And I feel like everybody comes in and that's how their story begins. So I bought one.
Yeah. Well, how are you going to learn, I
That's
guess.
True.
And, we thought about buying something else slower than a full-size sprint car. But it's like, once we learn that, we still want to get to that sprint car.
Yep.
So just buy it and we'll learn it and we'll struggle. And we did it for a few years, but it turned out really well. We did really well with it.
So when you were younger, has racing always been a thing for you? What's enamored you about the race?
It is. I grew up with my brother and my dad drag racing.
Okay.
So I was there all the time, but I was too little to, run it. They wouldn't let me drive it. I just want to drive it,
Yeah.
of course. So that's what it was. I mean, I grew up with them racing, and, I didn't get that sprint car until I was, I think I was like 33 before I ever,
Wow.
They're expensive.
Yeah.
And it takes two of us. And by the time you be able to afford something like that, you're a little bit older. I wasn't one of these kids that, hey, my parents says, hey, let's put you in a car. I wish I'd have been. I would have definitely not turned that down. But that's just how it worked out.
So racing's your alter ego. What do you do full time? Tell everybody kind of how you grew into that and what you do.
I am retired.
Oh, congratulations.
It's very simple. I had a business,
Yeah.
and I actually sold it about 3 or 4 years ago.
Oh, wow.
But I did it for 32 years.
Yeah.
One of my customers was actually in this town, M&W Electric up here on the hill,
Okay.
which was a foundry.
Yeah.
We used to make sand molds for foundries.
Okay.
Anything you're going to. I said we make a lot of the rear ends for all the big sprint cars, like those DMIs, Winners, and all that stuff. We'd make the molds for that, ship it off to the foundry, and they'd pour the metal around it.
Wow.
But I sold it about 3 years ago, and I work in my grandkids' race car a little bit now.
Congratulations. That's
Thanks.
awesome.
Thank
So you're trying to get the next generation
I am
into
Yep,
it,
yep.
and they're loving racing as well.
They love it. They're both doing very well at it. Blake, he's driving the 750 dwarf car now,
Okay.
and Chris, myself, and him were all in the same class last year. And
Oh, wow.
you got to qualify for the feature.
Yeah.
Well, Chris qualified 13th. I qualified 10th, and Blake qualified 3rd.
Oh, wow.
So you can see who the best driver is among those three.
And what does that mean to you? Something that has been in your family for a while, and
It
you're able to
is.
pass that on from generation to generation. When you see him out there on the track, yeah, you got to get emotional a
Oh,
little
I'm
bit.
a nervous wreck. That's what
Yeah.
I am. I mean, it's hard to watch. Chris races, I'm retina nervous. And Blake's races, I'm just a nervous wreck about it, But
Good thing you shave your head with Chris. 'Cause that dude can't finish a race. He's 0 for 2.
he's struggling. He's a little. Chris was really good in quads and that, but he's struggling with the cars right now. But he's only did it a couple times. But
And he's going to lean on you for advice.
well, I'd at least keep it off my roof, dude.
Does he get past the green flag? Because so far that's been a problem.
Hey, Chris, first time it was lap 1. He did a barrel roll off.
he did a good one that time.
Yeah, that was a heck of a show.
I think he went over a few times there.
I mean, we had Chris and the kids in here last
Uh-huh.
year, so but yeah, Chris's dwarf car experiences have been got to be thrilling because, like I said, it hasn't ended on 4 wheels yet. So I'm glad I have the exact opposite experience of him. I haven't been on my roof once. I'm thankful for that. Thank you, Jesus.
You better knock some right there.
Who was the wild card that last year we talked about him, and forgive me for forgetting his name, but he just kept going over, like he couldn't finish race. Is that him?
It might be. No, Chris only did one race.
Yeah,
He didn't have a what's the word I'm looking for? The thing that you guys put the cars in. He didn't have one of those, so he rolled one. A trailer. He didn't have one of those, so he kept rolling. Like he rolled one, and then he
That
had.
might be Sean Migdal.
Oh, really?
I can't remember.
That dude had some wild experiences in his car. Hell, one time he rolled the car. It was on the trailer.
That's
on
what
the
it
way
was.
to goods. Like
Really?
the trailer came unattached and like went rolling through somebody's yard. Yeah, that guy had some fun experiences. One day we were helping him load his car into the back of a pickup truck because I think that might have been almost the same day. He had no trailer. He broke the car in the race. So like, so we had to.
I think if you lose your car going to the racetrack, that ought to be a sign there.
Yeah.
It's not your day.
He did sell the car. So yeah, but yeah, I think that was him last year. We were talking about that. Yeah.
So last
Just a
night,
different experience.
we talked about, or you talked about, you had a birthday party. When Mother Nature takes its course during races, what do you do? I know you say it causes hangovers. Obviously, there's a little bit of toddies being passed around, but what do you do to kind of keep yourself? Because racing's one of those things, guys, and correct me if I'm wrong, you kind of have to get mentally checked in, and you got to prepare yourself and get into a different zone. So when you realize you're not racing, you don't want to waste that. You know,
it makes it hard. You know, when you're all pumped up, you got to pump yourself up. You're going to the track, you know, and you're pumped up about it.
Mhm.
And then a rain delay, it's just like, man, you know, it's like, now what? All of a sudden, hey, we're going to race again. It's like, what? We're going to race now? I mean, it's a big letdown. And then, you know, a lot of times you do get the race in.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's so hard on those track promoters. I wouldn't do that for anything. It's just, he works so hard to get the track ready, you know, and then trying to fight that rain and then doesn't get to race. It's a killer job.
What does it look like? Like, do you guys just stand around the track with your hands on your hips?
There's a lot of guys
usually in your trailer because it's raining, you know, so maybe you can run over to somebody else's trailer.
Yeah.
Well, there was a point where in between the two rains, I was like, I don't even want to do this. I just want to party. I'm like, Chris, we partying? Like, he's like, maybe, I don't know.
You just got to that point, huh?
Yeah.
You know, it is. It's after an hour or two. It's just like, you know, it's like, well, I don't even want to race now. You know, but
it could, like I said, I'm ready. We've talked about it. I can't relax. Like, I'm not afraid to do it. I'm just like, I can't eat.
Oh man, I'm a nervous wreck.
Done. Like, there's just an anxiety there. I wouldn't say I'm afraid to do it because, like I've said, once I get out there, it's going to be full throttle. You're not going to know I was pooping my pants 10 minutes before. Like, you know, like.
Was there anybody there last night that was like gung ho, like wanted to race like 100% and was visibly frustrated for not?
Got there, everybody,
but like even at the end, you know what I mean? That one person that is like,
I don't know. I think they kind of all accepted it, and everybody was looking at radars, so they're like, "Yeah, it's not happening."
Yeah,
everybody turns into a meteorologist.
Oh yeah. And the track was going to be great. I mean, after the first rain, that track was going to be awesome
for you guys.
What?
Not for me.
Wow. Oh, you like the slick track. That's right.
Dry stuff,
most people like the high speed, tacky track, but
I like high speed.
He's better on the slick track that takes the finesse, which is I'm not a finesse kind of driver, but
brings
some people
down
are
to my level. And then
the equalizer, that should be your nickname.
The great equalizer. Now you guys got to drive down to my level, and now I can do this. Yeah, I mean there is different. Like, I don't know, maybe my motor is just not as strong as other people, so it takes the motor out of it when the track is dry and slick. Like, it does make it a driving.
Yes, it is. That's right. It puts a driver more into it. It's very true. It's usually as the older you get, they say, hey, that's when you learn to finesse and you can do that. I don't know. I've still never learned it.
Which is weird because I've never been a finesse. Nobody's ever described anything with me in finesse in the same sense.
See, now you know.
So it's odd that gets put on me in that situation.
Chris Robbins.
Oh, good.
The birthday boy
says
8-time track champion in mod lights, back-to-back track champion in sprint cars, first wingless 410 winner at Mercer Raceway.
Dude, when he was drunk last night, he's pulling out like a plaque in his bathroom in his shop. He's like, you should just show this on the camera. I'm like, I don't know if we need to do it. But he was going over I'm like, so if you ever, I don't know if you're in a Hall of Fame for racing in Ohio.
No,
but if you ever get inducted, Chris, in that, like,
that's
you need to get good 12-pack in him and just let him rip.
He can do my speech. That's right.
You don't even need a microphone. You could be at the Cavelli Center.
He's loud.
You can hear him in the back row.
Yep.
No microphone. You can still hear him. The way he was yelling this, I'm like, there's only 4 of us in this room.
That's right.
There's no need to be this
I don't know where he gets that big voice at, but he's loud.
Oh my goodness.
But yeah, but Doug does have a lot of championships at goods at Deerfield /
just consistent, it's just consistency. That's what it is. And like we were talking last night about not getting in an accident, not getting in that wreck.
Mm-hmm.
I've given up a lot of positions before watching too far ahead. And that guy, I think that guy's going to spin out. Well, he doesn't. Meanwhile, I just got passed by those 2 cars and now I got to fight my way back up there. But it kids you out of wrecks and, finishing races. That's what really does it. There's a lot of people at the end of the year, they'll have more wins than me. And I might've finished second to them more often.
Well, yeah, I was looking at championship last year. Dave had 10 wins.
Yeah.
You had 3.
Yeah.
You won championship.
Yeah.
It's about getting points.
Yeah, Dave was killing it last year.
You must have been second a lot.
Well,
because you had one more top 10 than he did.
I think at one time I know I had 7 of them seconds.
I was gonna say you had,
and he probably passed me every time. It wasn't like I was chasing him, and he was passing me.
Out of 22 events, you had 21 top 10s, and he had 20. So I was like, okay, so the difference. I mean, there wasn't like I think there's only 10 points difference between the two of you, but like at some point you had to have like a lot of seconds.
I think he had some bad luck. There was a couple of times I remember he had some bad luck, just like yourself. He's out there racing, and I remember the one time lab car went right in front of him because we were almost beside each other. And the lab car went in front of him instead of me.
Oh,
and that's just what happens.
That's racing.
That's racing. It is. It's racing. There's so much luck involved with it.
And Dave's he's great. And I remember watching him last year. I was like, I didn't even know you were going to be the champion. The way I seen him running, and I was like, whoa. He didn't win the championship. I was like, wow.
He was flying last year.
Yeah, he's good. He's great. And then he came to me one time. He's like, oh, come over here and get some speed tips. I'm like, here's a tip. Go to somebody else's trailer. I go, because you ain't finding it either. I go, I'll let you know when I find it, and then I'll share it with you. But until then,
well, he was probably looking for something maybe on that slick track.
I love it. They all know I love it.
Last week we talked about consistency. It's funny, Doug, you talked about it right now. Consistency is the way to win championships. And given the climate right now, we talked about some folks aren't going to be able to race every week. It's an opportunity for the consistent folks to finish, to stay out of those wrecks and to gain points, similar to a hockey team would. You know what I mean? It's not always about the goals. It's about the assists and it's about the points. What is your advice to younger drivers or drivers that are just starting that are just trying to become consistent? What are the best things to do? How do you prepare your car week in, week out? And how do you prepare your mind week in and week out?
I tell Chris this all the time. Yeah. You don't win the race on the track. You win at home in your garage.
Okay.
You win, you get that car ready and you come to that track and it's ready to go. We know what Deerfield's going to be like most of the time.
Sure.
And preparing your car, not having breakdowns. And, that's something why I've won a lot of these championships. I drove for Larry Cohen up for, I want to say 15 years, up until this year.
Sure.
And his cars were maintained, very meticulously. His cars didn't break down unless I screwed it up and wrecked it out there. His cars didn't break down. They were great. And that's why I won so many track championships for that very reason. And that's because he's home in the garage and that car's coming out and it is ready to go. Everything's tight on it. Nothing's going to fall off of it. I think that's one of the biggest things. And I think especially like Deerfield, it's a great family sport.
Sure.
It is. If you can get your kid to help work on it a little bit, not all the time. There's a lot to do to them.
Yeah.
But it learns them how to work on stuff a little bit. And then they get involved. Oh, hey, that's how that works. I didn't know that, and like Blake, the grandson, then he knows it's like, oh, now I know what he can almost tell, he can start learning. Hey, this is what I want to do to this thing. Hey, we're going to make this change. You're going to help me make that change. And sure enough, then he knows what it did. So it's a great family thing for people.
So I'm big into how does one help you with the other? How does life help you with racing or racing help you with life since you've been in it for so long?
Well, I love competition.
Yeah.
I just love, if we want to race out in the parking lot, I'll still race you. I love competition, and I think that's what it was also, like owning my own business.
Yep.
It's just competition. It's trying to beat those other people out there that do the same thing I do.
Yeah.
So I just look at it that way. I am almost 60 now.
Wow.
So it's the idea of
He looks great.
I don't. Not only do I need to get on his racing program, I need to get on his workout.
TB12,
program.
man.
Yeah.
My guy's eating guacamole ice cream.
No, hey, I ate more hot dogs and pizza than anybody last night. Let me tell you. But it is, I finished 4th in a race last year.
Yeah.
The 3 kids that beat me, their age didn't add up to mine. It's just like,
Wow.
man, this is killing me.
That's a point of pride, though.
It's still fun, I race because my grandkids are there.
Yeah.
But I mean, don't get me wrong, I love racing.
Yeah.
I watch it more now than ever too.
Yeah.
But I'm one of those people. I'd much rather compete in any sport than watch it.
Amazing. Okay, so let's talk about the family that doesn't race. What do they do? Like, who do they cheer for in the stands when Grandpa, Dad, and Blake is
Blake,
racing at the same time?
I have 2 grandsons.
Okay.
Yeah, they're.
Well, you did it once last year, all 3.
Yeah, we were all 3 in the same class one night.
Did you guys? Can you or should you ever finish 1, 2, 3? And if that's the case, as competitive as you are, do you leave off the gas a little bit for Blake?
No.
Wow.
No.
No mercy.
But my wife, she said she had to do it, because in that race where we started, I started 10th and Blake started 3rd. I think he just got tired.
Yeah.
Those cars don't have power steering because he's fast.
Yeah.
It's like he wasn't even in sight. All of a sudden I see him. And then I caught up to him pretty easily, but I couldn't pass him. I mean, he's just so smooth. And, of course, the wife says, you had to do it. You just had to pass him. But, hey, it gives him incentive too. You know what I mean? There was a night he won his class and I won the mod light class. So that was cool.
Chris says that won't happen because I can't keep up with them.
Didn't you wave at Chris or something?
Yeah.
You waved at him?
waved at him going by. Him, myself, and Blake, his son, both lapped him.
Oh my gosh!
So
come on, Chris.
it was, and to give him, it wasn't only the second time ever in a car, but it's racers are kind of ruthless with each other.
I can imagine, dude. If anybody ever waved at me, they'd get one right in the rear.
Well, if he could have caught up, I might have got
that. Oh man!
Next time he laps him,
you just wait.
We're hard. Chris don't know until he's already going past him again. He's like, "Oh, I missed my chance again." He'll have a rear view mirror to see him coming.
We're hard, and that's every race. We all joke around. But it is amazing. I had a guy last night tell me, he says, who used to race dirt bikes. He can't believe how well all racers work with each other. He said, anybody, he says, I'm out there having a problem. He says, I don't even know these people. They're going, hey, let me help you with this. Let me help you with that. Your car breaks. There's 10 people over there trying to help you get your car back together. All your competitors. It is a really good family up there. It works out real well. Okay.
So you had to give Chris advice somewhere along the line. How does he accept advice? And does he accept your advice for racing?
He does. He's really okay on racing. He does.
Okay.
Yeah, it's maybe
everything else,
maybe not the other stuff. But
the only advice would be at this point: rubber parts down. Rubber parts.
Keep her. Yeah. Both times the wreck, I would say, wasn't his fault.
Yeah.
But it's his fault for the position he's putting the car in.
Gotcha.
And as a new driver, you think, hey, I don't want to be up front. Those guys. Well, you don't want to be in the back. That's where the wrecks happen.
Yeah.
You have 10 cars in front of you, got to try to watch instead of 1 or 2.
Mm-hmm.
So he'll be up there. He'll get her up there and he'll be a lot better off.
I mean, that does go through my mind. If I'm in like 7th, 8th, I'm like, hey, I'm in the middle of this.
I know. That's just it.
You got to get some clean air and get out of this. There's something likely to happen here. Like, this is not good.
Yeah.
Ideal racing conditions for you. I know we talked about Corey's. What are your ideal racing conditions?
I like a heavy track where you're on the gas the most, and I want to say it takes a little bit more nerve, to hold it down in there.
Sure.
I really love running the top of the racetrack, not the bottom, and that's just it's just how the other guys. Don't get me wrong, I'm around the top, and here comes somebody passing me on the bottom. I'm not saying it's always the right decision.
Yeah.
But that's just what I like. I like the fast tracks. Like I say, it because it takes more finesse. It's all in that gas pedal, but the track is slick, not over gassing it, and it just doesn't.
You taking notes over here? There,
he doesn't take notes on that part. He already said he's got that.
I just like it. I don't know if I got it. I like it. Yeah, I wouldn't say I got it, but I do enjoy it. I'm not like, I don't know. A lot of people they're like, it's too dry. I'm like, I don't know. I'm loving life out there right now.
I've taken Chris to the races so long when we used to have to sneak him in the trailer because he wasn't old enough to get in the pits. You know what I mean?
Gosh,
We'd have to sneak him in. You don't get out of the trailer, because that's what we did, and so he's always been around racetracks too.
Okay, so you've been around for generations of racing. Is this your favorite aspect of it? Is this your favorite kind of generation, or growing up into it? When you look back and you cherish those moments of racing, which parts do you cherish the most?
I like it all.
Yeah.
I mean, again, I've raced from a 250 Odyssey to a 410 sprint car, and I tell you what, racing at Deerfield, winning a race at Deerfield is just as much fun as racing and winning at Mercer Raceway or Sharon or Lernerville. I've won a lot of those things at Wayne County.
Right.
It's just as much fun when you're out there racing. You don't think about that money part.
Yeah.
You're racing because you just want to win.
Competitive.
Yeah. And so it's a lot of fun. When a lot of people want to leave a place like Goods to go, hey, I'm going to get me an E-mod. Yeah. It's no more fun. It's just cost you more. The cost of racing is escalating so much.
Oh, yeah.
And, you can race at Deerfield because a lot of part of racing is not having to worry about how much money you're spending on your car.
Mm-hmm.
And the more you spend, the more you worry.
Yeah.
I'm a worrier. So I worry about all that stuff. So
that's like we were talking last night. You take one of them 410 sprint cars, you're like, yeah, you got $70,000 in an engine.
Yeah.
Just an engine. And how many moving parts are in that engine that can cost you $70,000?
Oh, yeah. They don't always stay together. You see it.
And it's like, that's like about a little less than what I make in a year,
Yeah.
Like it's like, holy cow.
Yeah.
So somebody.
And like we said, you can't have one. You got to have at least two. If you're going to be a local racer, you got to have two.
Yeah.
So
Jim told me, he's like, I've raced a lot of different things. He said dwarf cars were like the most fun. It was worry-free, basically. You just make sure the only loose nut you want is the one in the seat holding the steering wheel.
That's it. Yeah.
He's like, but other than that, he's like, it was the most fun. Like bang for your buck.
It is. It is a lot of fun.
Yeah.
The Class U race or the Mod Lights, either one, it is a lot of fun to race there.
Well, Corey, it's that time of day. Wrap the show up a little bit. It's time for the final burnouts. What do you got for us today?
Well, again, I need to get on Doug's workout program too, apparently. But it was so interesting just talking to you last night, and like, I'd love to drive like one of them 410 sprint cars. Like I'm kind of obsessed right now with that Rush wingless.
Oh, sure.
Series. Because it seems like they have a certain, and it's in this area, chassis manufacturer, and they all run the same crated engine. And I guess you can do what you want with that engine, but you still got to pass a tech.
Yep.
And it seems fairly affordable for sprint car racing. Like,
I agree.
Like you could get into it for about $20,000, it seems. Which
is that what you were driving the other day that I saw on Facebook?
So shout out to Timmy Kenner. Was that how you pronounce that last?
Yeah.
I always want to say Quinn, but he had his 270 micro out there, and that's what I was driving.
Okay.
Which, hey, that thing was a blast.
Those things are fast.
We got to work on your social media skills, because I thought you died because you had something about
wings.
Yeah, you got your wings.
I was like, that's the only car. It's the first thing I've ever.
What are we gonna do now?
I've never driven.
What are we gonna do now?
You have a memorial show. Like if you have any dumbass hillbilly sayings, send them in. We'll have a memorial for Corey.
The best of Corey Renforth.
But anyway, that was the first thing I ever drove that had wings on it. And then I didn't realize, I could always theorize on how it worked, but I didn't realize how much that wing did.
Real race cars have wings.
And
wow,
man, it is like the hand of God just holding that thing on the track, and you just, like he said, who's got the biggest sack out here? Huh?
Yeah,
you know what I mean. You just hold her down and just go in there. And I did put up the one where I got scared and I backed out of it, and then it started turning to the right on me, and I had to regroup and downshift and God, okay, now. But I didn't make that same mistake twice. I don't know if this is how you've ever been, but I'll go out there and I'll make a mistake, and then, man, if you could get in-car audio on me, you'd be like, this guy needs a therapist and a priest and probably something else too, like something extra. maybe some yoga guru, but like you need something to calm down. But I won't make that mistake again. If it was a lack of balls scenario that caused it, that ain't happening again. I mean, I'll go to a fiery death before I let that happen again.
But let's not do that.
Well, yeah, but
that's it.
I mean, but the next time, I kind of do it to punish myself. Like, you don't lift that foot this time. You Nancy.
Race car drivers do a lot of talking to themselves.
Oh, yeah,
that's
like
for sure.
If there was a microphone there, you'd be like, well, we can't play.
We got a few here if you want to borrow one. We'll get you mic'd up.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know if that's how you react, but that's how I reacted. And I was like, I don't want to drive this thing, but I do want to drive this thing.
Oh,
it's not that I don't want to drive it; it's that it's somebody else's.
Yeah,
and I don't know why they're trusting me to drive it. Because I'm like, I'm not. Because I know they all thought like I'd just go in and maybe do some laps in third gear, and I was like in my head, be like, boys, that's what's being projected on the outside, but on the inside,
it's on.
Kind of what caused the part where I let up on it. I was like, do I have another gear to go faster? Like, I was hitting the shifter trying to like go faster. I'm like, let's go. Like, I'm like, this thing's it's so fun right now. I'm like, I want more. Like, and I guess it just didn't have more. And I was paying too much attention to trying to upshift into the turn. I'm trying to do this. And I just kind of lost track of what I was doing and had to let out. Instead of holding it in and turning, I let out of it, and then it caused the whole deal.
I think I need both hands on the steering wheel. Those things are.
They were like,
I think I need both hands out there.
I still did it. Timmy's like, no, you just drive with one hand. I'm like, Timmy, that sounds absurd.
For a guy that drives with no hands, sometimes that's an upshift here. No pun intended.
Like Doug can tell you, it's a completely. So it's like a direct turning thing. Like the steering wheels. I don't know how it's not a rack and pinion.
No,
it's not like the shaft doesn't go into a box and it's just direct to the wheel. So it's like if you make this little adjustment, like
you're going.
Move my hand, it's making a left. Like it doesn't take much.
Yeah.
So when you start,
it's like a shopping cart. You're going. You move it. You're going.
Wheels are wobbly. You got to hold it still. Like it's like, and you're just like, but just that little turn makes it go like it's a whoop. So that took some getting used to, and I definitely wanted two hands so I didn't I'm not left-handed. Like, it'd be great if I was left-handed.
Yeah.
Like, maybe I don't have a lot of precision here, so it's like I wanted the right hand on there too, but it's not going to do like my dwarf car does. Like I turn, so it's a truck driver thing. So turn wheel, and then I let go of it and let it.
Right.
Back.
Yeah.
And that's what I would do in the dwarf car.
Yes, they do that. Yeah.
Jim's like, you're nuts. And he's like, you got to stop doing that. Because I would turn it and then I'd let it go and I'd grab it.
Yeah.
And it would already be turned to the right. I wouldn't have to turn it to the right at all because it's kind of wanting to straighten itself out. But that's how I would drive it.
Where were you the first 27 minutes of the show?
I was listening to it.
Jeez, oh man.
I wouldn't shut up.
But
you're fine.
But I've
been waiting for this for 2 years.
That's just how I drove the thing, and having that GoPro there so I could watch my hands to learn, but let everybody else learn that I'm an idiot and I don't hold on to the steering wheel sometimes. And so they were all like, this is wild. Like, I can't believe I'm out here racing with the guys not holding on to the steering wheel. But it did. The times when it was doing that, you could arguably say that's when I was running my best laps. I didn't have to worry about it.
Yeah.
It was like carefree.
Yep.
Just like, I don't have to. This thing's driving itself. It's Kit the supercar. What was it?
Night Rider?
Yeah.
Night Rider. There you go.
I was David
I could use that.
I was just
You're David Hasselhoff. Not Michael Knight. David Hasselhoff.
If I knew one of his songs, I would like bust out singing it right now. But
I think he's almost got that hair.
Yeah.
That's pretty close.
You're getting there.
I'm probably more David Hasselhoff now, soft and gooey.
Oh my gosh. It is.
But on that note,
we have Good's version of David Hasselhoff here in the studio. That's going to do it for our show. Thank you, Doug. It's a pleasure to meet you, man. You're an inspiration. Thank you for all you do for the racing family. And of course, Corey, thanks for showing up 27 minutes into the show and getting us into overtime here. We appreciate it. That's going to do it. Join us next Sunday, 10:30 right here. Hopefully we got some racing to talk about on in the driver's seat.
Then we're gonna have
stop talking.
We're gonna have a break.
Stop. When?
We've got a holiday, the weekend after next week.
Yeah.
Then June, I'm out. Then I'll be in Wisconsin 19th.
Oh, there it is.
26. So there's And after that, July 4th.
We got like a month hiatus, so we'll have plenty to talk about.
Call in
We can put you up. Yeah, we can do that.
Yeah, I'm fine.
It's not a problem. All right, we have to go because we are literally 7 minutes over.
Hey, trust me, everybody wants this show to be 2 hours.
Peace be with you. Yeah, sponsor it and we'll be good.
Okay.
Peace. YSN, thanks.